I'm really excited for this match. You know, Austin's a really good wrestler, a really great MMA fighter. You know, he fights for Bellator at the time, and I believe he's 9-0, and he wrestled, I believe, for Oregon State or something like that. But I know he's a really good wrestler as well. So you know, I know he's an accomplished fighter and stuff. So it's definitely a fun match for me. You know, like for me, I like taking different challenges and seeing new opponents. I hate being like, you know, there was a time that I felt that I was kind of fighting the same people over and over, and not necessarily the same people, just the same kind of like people from the same camps and stuff like that. So it's definitely fun to find new opponents with different skill sets and just kind of like that's what I want to do. I want to think a little bit different for every opponent, you know, instead of having the same mindset. Every story where Eddie Bravo is my favorite, you know what I'm saying? Like I can tell you from like being in Japan, man, like to like him giving me my black belt, but man, it's crazy because it's like everywhere we've traveled together, like Eddie Bravo doesn't like to eat anything, like because he's like, nah, man, like I don't know what they're feeding us, but he loves McDonald's. Anywhere we go, it doesn't matter where you go in the country, he has to get McDonald's. He won't get anything else but McDonald's. So we'll be eating and like he'll like anywhere we go, like 3 times a day, he'll be eating McDonald's, and it's like it's just a crazy thing. And I'm like, man, like it's so crazy that it's like he won't eat it. He won't eat it as much here, but anywhere we go, he's like that's the only thing he eats, man. But I think it's just because he doesn't know what people are feeding him, but. It's super funny to see. We're like, what, McDonald's again? And he's like, you know it. And I was like, oh my God, you know? Yeah, Joe Rogan and me are very cool. You know, when I was a blue belt, I was training a lot with Eddie Bravo and stuff. And he would go in there and he would train as well. And you know, before I knew it, like we were always training partners. Like we were always drilling together and stuff like that. When I would go out there and he was there, like I would be drilling partners with him and stuff like that. And we would roar once in a while, and then went up the ranks. But he always kept in touch, and he always kept it real cool, man. Like Joe Rogan's cool like that. Like I feel like he keeps his friends really close, you know. And I feel very like honored to be his friend. You know, I think he's a really cool guy and a real cool friend. You know, that guy used to whip my ass in jiu-jitsu when I was a blue belt. You know, like I could just picture it, and I was just like. Eddie would always kind of like pair me up with him to roll when I was there and he was there, of course. And I just remember how strong he was, man. He was like a ox, you know what I'm saying? Like he would get a Kimura and it's like just take like he was so strong. He was always real nice, but man, he would just be like, just take that arm away. And I'm like, man, like that's crazy. And that kind of gave me a gauge of like how strong a person could actually be, like that does jiu-jitsu as a black belt, you know what I'm saying? Because I was a blue belt and he was a black belt at the time. So man, yeah, just stories of him just going at it, not, we didn't even roll like hundreds of times, but man, every time I roll with him, I definitely it was rolling with the black belt, you know, and it was he was always very talented and very like he knows a lot, you know, and like you could see it from his commentating, man, like that guy knows he knows jiu-jitsu very well, and you know he just training with him and just being around him was always real cool, you know, and you know. After that, like we always kind of kept in touch and stuff like that. But man, like I remember when Ngannou fought against Alistair Overeem in Detroit, and I was there, and he I hit him up, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know you were here, and then he invited us to go see UFC. But we were like right behind him when Ngannou knocked out Alistair Overeem, and I remember him just looking back and be like, what the fuck? And it was just kind of like a real cool connection because it was like one of like the most memorable like knockouts ever, you know. And I was just like, we're like right behind him, and he like looked back, and he's like, what? And it was crazy, but it was like I could always remember that fight every time it comes up, like on like a replay or something like that. It's always like, oh man, I remember his face, like he was just like, what the fuck, you know. So it's always cool, like those little memories, you know. Breakdancing for me, you know, like for me it was I was a b-boy since I was a kid, you know, and I still do it, just not competition. I don't compete in dancing anymore, but I still do it frequently. You know, I feel it helps my jiu-jitsu, and it's basically it helps me with body movement, you know, and I feel that that's kind of like what I'm known for, like, you know what I'm saying, having like weird movements and stuff like that, and it was because of dancing, but you know, I was a dancer, and I was teaching breakdancing at a jiu-jitsu / break or dance studio. And you know, eventually like I was teaching there, and then they told me that I could train there for free. And it was a 10th Planet, so me and my brother were teaching, and then they asked us to actually be able to join the classes and stuff. So we took advantage of it, being MMA fans and stuff. You know, like we're always into like Pride and like Strike Force and like the UFC. So but just never could afford any form of like martial arts. So once they told us we could do it for free, it was like we took advantage of it and we just kind of ran with it, you know. The Jake Shields fight was kind of fun because it was like it was somebody I've always, like I said, I've always was into like Strike Force and stuff like that, and I remember watching him in Strike Force and whatnot, and it was you know, I've always looked up to him, you know, like I could even remember like his fights against like GSP for the title and stuff like that, man. Like it was somebody that I've always kind of respected in the MMA community, you know, and even as a grappler, man, like that guy's done so much in grappling, and it's somebody that I always looked up to, and you know, I actually asked for the fight, you know, like it was I seen Chael and Bellator in Hawaii 2 years ago, or last year, my bad, this last year that happened, and you know, I went up to him and I was like, hey. I'm like, I know you can make it happen. I'm like, I want to go against Jake Shields. And he's like in fighting? I'm like, nah, in grappling. He's like, I have the perfect show. And I was like, that's why I'm asking you, brother. And then he made it happen. Like literally that next day, he hit me up and he's like, it's on. And I was like, all right, cool, man. But yeah, it was somebody that I've always kind of like looked up to. I had to train very specific for him because he has a very good style, like with wrestling and submission. So it was somebody that I studied very well. And that's what I do. Like, you know, especially like as a coach as well, like, you know, I always have to study my students' opponents and stuff like that. So it's always fun when I have to study for myself, you know, like I don't do it very often, but when I do, I really take it real serious. And, you know, it's a fight that I knew that I had to take serious. And, you know, I ended up getting the win in overtime, which was super fun for me. And it was something that it's kind of like a notch on my belt, you know what I'm saying? Like it was somebody that I really wanted to beat realistically, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like he's a legend to me, you know. Guys could follow me on Instagram. It's Boogeyman _ TFS, BOOGEYMAN _ TFS. Or you could also go check us out, man. Me and my brother Gio, we have online courses, you know what I'm saying? And it's freaksjujitsu.com. Yeah, check us out, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you guys have any questions or anything, just send me a message, man. I like talking to people. I like talking to fans. I like talking to people that love jiu-jitsu or MMA, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, hit me up, whatever's, man. I'm always cool to talk to people.